Hey everyone, it's Susan Kennedy here with a reading for you for this week. Brings in the energy of the new moon in Taurus, along with a whole lot of other things going on. So the first thing to talk about is Mercury coming out of retrograde tomorrow, the 15th, and I think we're all ready for that. There's been so much energy around miscommunication and probably understanding the role that communication plays in your life. You know, the biggest thing that happens is that when we mishear something, or we only hear from people at certain times, it will trigger in us what needs to be triggered. So I often think in these times of Mercury retrograde, there can be a lot of frustrations around contracts with people, work issues, anything to do with communication. And that's been really strong the last couple of weeks. So Mercury coming out of retrograde, I would encourage you to perhaps just reflect on the last couple of weeks and see where the frustration has been in the communication that you've had either with other people or with yourselves. Sometimes that's lack of communication, where people just don't communicate with you the way that you would like them to. And so that changes the way that you communicate. Now, sometimes those things are real and sometimes technology gets in the way. And I laugh when it does, because when it gets in the way, as in, messages don't get sent, messages stay in your outbox, or, they're just not being received, and that other person says to you, well, I did send you a message, but you didn't get it. It kind of reminds me of the way that we used to communicate. And that was, we used to communicate a lot more telepathically. And even now you will find that that telepathic communication is becoming much, much, much stronger. So Mercury in retrograde, we start the week with that coming out. Tuesday, we've got a big energy as well with, to get this right, Jupiter going into Taurus, where it will stay for the next 12 months. And this is kind of a beautiful energy because it's going to bring us a lot of confirmation of the things that we've been working on. So things where we've been kind of saying, well, where is it going? Is it ever going to happen? Am I on the right path? Expect this shift. And sometimes these shifts don't happen immediately on the day, but there's this kind of push behind you this week where you'll kind of feel a bit more optimistic. It will be that sense of, well, okay, the change that I made recently, even though it was hard, even though it didn't always feel right, it's understanding that it is right, and that the dreams and the things that you've been working on, you're more likely to see results from it coming up. I think everybody's been in this bit of a stuck energy where it's, things, there's so much going on so many levels. And we talk about awakening all the time. We talk about the rising consciousness, but we still have to live everyday life. And this week, I would expect that you will see things being almost like you will be stronger in your decision making. You will just kind of go, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to make this choice. I'm going to make this decision. And it will just feel right. I don't know about you, but maybe you've noticed more and more this energy of being the observer and looking at the old stories that either you've been playing or your family has been playing, or that, has been running in your peer group or wherever you are. But there's always like a story. There's always well, if this happens, this must be the result. And I'm seeing a lot of people kind of going, well, that story isn't true anymore. So it's you creating that new story by being the observer. That will be really obvious to you this week, where you will kind of look at yourself and go, well, when that used to happen, I used to feel like this, or I used to react this way. But now that this is happening, I'm not reacting or feeling the same way. So huge breakthroughs this week. Now, the new moon, which is coming on the 19th, always love new moons. So this energy is always, the moon's already, retracting from our view, even though it doesn't really. It serves always to show us the cycles of life, that things have to expand, things have to retract. Sometimes we have to go into that energy of no thing or nothing. And always interesting in that time. I used to wonder, why do you make wishes on a new moon where there is no moon and it's dark? And it's because that's when we're closest to creation in a way, because there isn't this distraction that can come sometimes with a full moon that lights up everything. So even in the darkness, you actually see more. So when the full moon's there and we've got the full light in the sky, yes, we see a lot of what's on the earth, but we don't see a lot of what's in the cosmos. So on the new moon, we kind of feel more connected. We are more connected. There is more of a sense of I'm just seeing like all of our physical energy field being really worked on, being reconnected at every new moon. So wherever you're from, I'm just going to say she's a bit weird. What I mean by that is, most of us come from other places in the universe. You may have a strong connection with Pleiades or different, Orion or different places, but you will have a connection to a different star system. And at the new moon, I'm being shown that this is where those energies get reconnected. So we kind of feel a little bit more on our purpose. And of course, all of us have come here with a purpose. We've come here with a desire to be part of this great awakening, a desire to be part of lifting the energy of joy. Now, what's really coming online as well on this new moon is the physical. And I've been talking about this for a while, how we have to embody all of the healing, the clearing that we've done, and bring it into a physical manifestation of our lives. And this Taurian energy, May is very much about the physical. It's about the sensual. It's about the pleasures of life. And so I am seeing this breakthrough this week, a kind of a new joy in life, that reconnection, I guess, with the divine, which brings through into the physical a sense of gratitude, of appreciation for everything that your body does for you, all of the people that work tirelessly in the background to provide the food, to provide all of the things that keep you where you are. New moon as well really signifies this shift into commitment. And I really feel this new moon is a strong time to look at your own commitment to yourself, your commitment to what it is that you really want. And that's where what I talked about earlier of saying, I'm not doing this anymore. So where people or situations are pulling you away from the knowingness. So within each of you at the moment, I am sensing this trusting. It's kind of like, I trust, I know, but I don't know how. And this has been going on for a long time. This building of our trust, this building of our connection back to our blueprint, back to our divine reason for being here. So this week, the energy of how committed you are to yourself will come back. More in the sense of you kind of saying, well, it doesn't have to be hard. I can just do things gently, but I am really determined and focused on this course of action. A lot of freedom energy still. This May energy for me is all about we're almost at the halfway point of the year as we come into, the solstice in June, and or equinox, get them all, but it's more this energy of that midpoint of the year that we're coming into May. May's that freedom. How can you keep freeing yourself from the things that keep you stuck? Stuck. And for those of you that might have read my Facebook post last week, I actually did get stuck last week. I got stuck in a lift and I was in there for about half an hour. But it was interesting that there was a part of me that went into the fear because, if you watch the movies, the lift shaft always, there's always this thing where the lift falls to the bottom or they have to climb out into the, into the roof. And when I sat there and thought about it, that feeling of fear was not actually there, but there was almost a part of me that wanted to go into that fear because it was a habit. So more and more, just observe yourself this week. Observe where things that could trigger you in the past may still appear in your life, but just observe the power that you have to kind of almost step away from it and observe it and smile inside and just go, I don't have to have this physical reaction that I normally have at this point. So that will be something to really, observe this week. So I'm using the Sufi Wisdom Oracle cards again this week just to bring some other energy through. Divine Guidance Through the Hearts of Great Sages, Rasuli, published by Blue Angel. They've always got I'm always drawn to the beautiful color. Another thing that I wanted to talk about too is the energy of light that is coming every day onto the planet and how it is affecting you. That you may find that you are shedding hair, shedding parts of you, almost like your body is responding to old stress and releasing. I had a very clear vision the other day. I was on the beach and I was really drawn to this cloud. And I don't know whether I can do this on YouTube, but I'll give it a go. I'll see if I can post the photo in the comments. I'm not sure if you can do that. But anyway, I took this photo of this cloud because I was really drawn to it. And when I actually honed in on it, and then I could see it as I was walking, there was this very strong aqua color coming out and a very strong pink color coming out. And it was almost like that spectrum of the rainbow. And then yesterday, when it was raining, I just said to myself, I'm in a rainbow right now. And of course, you wouldn't know if you were in a rainbow. People from a distance might be able to see that the building you're in is in a rainbow, but you can't see it. And so that thought, it just reminded me that light is invisible and we're being shown more and more the spectrums of light that are there, the frequencies. And there's a lot of angelic beings that come in on those frequencies of light. Now, of course, from a physical point of view, like chemistry, physics, all of that sort of stuff, we know that we're getting a lot of these colors because of the sunspots, because of the ejections from the sun. And it's bringing in plasma, it's bringing energy in, but it's also bringing new neutrinos of energy into us. It's also creating an easier pathway for any beings that wish to communicate with us from, distant galaxies, from other places. It's almost like it's a pathway for them to come in and be closer to you. So be aware of that. Look for those beautiful images that are in nature at the moment. And this last week, the rainbow energy has been extremely strong. So that always tells me that those of you that have your loved ones in spirit, whatever is unfinished, whatever is unresolved, will still be very much something you have to look at and work through at the moment. So this new moon, I would encourage you to really look at some healing, look at understanding those people and their limitations if you have unresolved issues. Of course, we always miss those people that we loved that are in spirit, and we can't ever have their physical presence back. But there's so much connection that we can have with them through our thoughts, through our memories, and through, I guess, in a way, seeing the best. It's interesting, the way relationships are and the way the energies are working at the moment. Because about probably 2 months ago, it was almost as though the energy was all of the worst of those people. And now we're being called to recognize all of the best of them. And it's in that seeing the best of them that you kind of say to yourself, you know what, even though there were difficulties, it doesn't really matter. And that may be playing out in your physical relationships as well at the moment, that kind of energy where you've been through the ups and downs with different people. It could be romantic relationships, it could be family relationships, friendships, but where you kind of go, yeah, there was bad. Yeah, there's been good, but the good so outweighs the bad. And you kind of just decide to go with that. So very, very beautiful energy still of a lot of reconnections, a lot of, harmony coming or being created. I don't know that it's coming. It's just that we're stepping back into that frequency. So let's see what cards we've got. Move forward. Experience the grace of who you truly are. Now that actually reminds me when I was meditating before I came in, and these ones don't have numbers, but I did have an image, and I do want to talk about this now as well. There is this sense of, and this is around the new moon, of being able, when I was seeing that image of us being reconnected, it's like light coming from our star systems, But that light, when it comes in, it's kind of reminding you of your uniqueness, and that this week you really need to understand it and accept it and be it more and more. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to put yourself into a mold that anybody else has for you. You know, it's that thing of saying, well, you know, do you change when you're with different people? And of course, you know, we all like to accommodate. We like to be loved. Some people are real, you know, chameleons, that you can be different people with different groups and different environments. But more and more, this is saying, no, you've got to experience the grace of who you are and actually be it more and more. I watched a beautiful movie recently. It's called The Alpinist, and it was about a beautiful young man, Marc-Andre Leclerc, and he was a mountaineer. And I think he started his career at about 16, and he just had this zest for life, that he wasn't going to wait. He just knew that this was what he was here for. He wasn't interested in anything else but achieving that dream. So he free soloed. He climbed up so many mountains, you know, mountains in Patagonia, and he wasn't doing it for people to watch him. He was doing it because it was something that was in him, something he came here to do. Now, through doing that, there's this whole energy of inspiration that he has created for other people to say, wow, if there's something I want to do, then what is stopping me from doing it? So experience that grace of who you are, but I think more than that, it's express it, it's be it. Make friends. I like this. Friends are the alchemy of success. And I guess with that speaks again into perhaps even, you know, repairing some relationships that may have been broken. Might be making new friends, making friends with aspects of yourself, aspects that you have pushed away. And that really moves, you know, kind of is very much that similar energy of experiencing that grace of who you truly are. So make friends with who you truly are. Don't hide it. Don't couch it. Don't squash who you are. And show up how you are, however it is. Don't worry about other people's judgment. And these things are easy to say, but this week I can guarantee you will be offered the opportunity to walk that talk, to actually say, well, this is an important place for me, or this is an important occasion for me to really just stand in who I really am. And trust your gut feeling. Let your heart lead you to who you are. So again, we've got 3 cards that really speak into being who you are. And the heart energy is that pink and that green, the masculine and the feminine. That was the color in the cloud the other day. And it was so profound. And actually just realized that the colors behind me, I put one of my new plants there, and you see a different shade of green. So many shades of masculinity and femininity. That masculine doesn't always have to be hard. Feminine doesn't always have to be too soft and yielding. You know, we can morph these energies until we come into this beautiful sense of who we really are, whatever that is. Whatever it is, it's divine. Whatever it is, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for listening. Again, always thank you so much for those of you that subscribe and share. And I look forward to seeing you again soon for another reading. Have a beautiful new moon. May it be one of commitment, one of recognition of who you are, and one of absolute sensual pleasure in whatever way works for you. Okay, see you soon.